Hey guys, I wanted to show you how we can make borders and frames for our work inside of Photopea. Now remember, we've done this exact same thing when we were drawing with colored pencils and crayons, and it's not any different than masking off or taping off a border around your paper and making a white or black frame given your medium that you're working on. Let's open up a new project. And in this case, I'm going to work with pixels today. And I'm going to work with 2000 by 2000 pixels at 72 dpi. Right there. And with the white background, and I'm going to hit create. Now, in Photopea, you may or may not have rulers active, and in order to get rulers active, if you don't see them, we can go to view and rulers and just make sure that that is checked. And of course I can turn it back off again if I want to, or turn it back on. Notice the shortcut is Command R, and we could turn that on and off as many times as we need to. But I want to make guides. I want to use rulers for guides. We can use them to actually measure things, right? We can see that this is in fact 2000 pixels wide. I want to use the rulers for another ability, and that's the ability to, one, change units. If I right click on the area, I can change my units to percent, millimeters, centimeters, inches, and pixels. I'm going to choose pixels because I want to measure out a guide that goes into 200 pixels. So I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to left click on my ruler here and pull out a guide that runs right about 200. Now, what's annoying about this tool is that look how small that label is next to it. It's very difficult to see. I'm going to show you another way that we can get more precise measurements, but right now I'm just going to kind of stop right there. I think it says 200.97, and I'm going to pull down another guide from the top and try to get that at 200 as well. And again, the more zoomed in you are, the more accurate you can get. So if I choose to undo that, I can zoom in again, and I can pan up. There's my 200 mark right there. I can pull down a guide that's right there at the 200 mark, or close to. But I want to show you another way we can get those guides. You can actually see how far those guides go by zooming out. Those guides go pretty far. They go stretch the entire length of this file and then go beyond that. And I want to get my guides another way, and that's by using a gauge. And I'm going to use the shape of a rectangle or square as that gauge. So I'm going to grab my rectangle select tool, rectangle select. I'm going to make a new layer. And I'm going to make a shape that is exactly 200 pixels by 200 pixels. And I'm going to use that as a gauge to lay down my guidelines. Now, in order to do that, I need to change my options from free to fixed size. And I want to type in 200 by 200. It's already in pixels. And now when I click and drag inside my canvas, I get a square that is exactly 200 pixels by 200 pixels, and I can release my mouse and it selects that area. I want to choose a different color so we can see this. Maybe a darker color. Hit OK. And I'm going to fill this with this green color. Fill that area. Now, and that has filled 200 by 200 pixels. It's green, it's filled, it's on its own layer. I'm going to deselect, Command D. And now I can move this gauge around anywhere I need it to be, and I can move it in my first spot here. And it looks as though if I snap this to my corner, I can snuggle up right next to those edges, and now I can move my guides right next to that edge of my square. And now I know that it's pretty precise. It's more precise than what I did have it at. So now I am good to go. That's set to 200 by 200 pixels. I have a guide going horizontal and vertical. Now I can move over to this side and let it snap into place. You'll notice that once you get to edges, shapes and lines and guides like to snap to each other. It's almost like they're magnetically attracted. Let me pull over another vertical guide. And there is my third guide. And now my last guide, I can zoom in and pan up and snug that against the corner. And now pull down my last horizontal and snap that next to my square. And I have made accurate guides at 200 pixels by 200 pixels all the way around my 2000 pixel by 2000 pixel composition. That is how you use guides, and that is how you use a shape as a gauge. All right, guys. Let's stop right there and we will continue on with our next lesson. Take care.